Now let's look at a simple example of using one of the properties in this class. So if we go to delete an item right here, we are going to run the delete function. It gets passed the ID. So it says delete from, and then we're pointing to this table. Now remember how we looped through the options and we pulled in each one of the options into a property for this class? Well, this is referencing one of those properties, the table option, which was defined, if we look in our pages.php file, right here. At this point, all of these items are properties inside of our class: table, item name, display columns, ID column, and so on. If we go back to our class here, we're going to reference another one of those here. When we do the where part of the query, we're going to point to this ID column. And then finally, we point to this item name when we add the notice. Now, one other thing that this does is makes it easier to know when we're dealing with internal variables. In the past, when we're dealing with basic functions, if we go to our old CRUD script, for example, we know simply because we've been working with this page that the options variable is something that's getting passed to the function. But if we get functions that get longer and longer, it becomes a little harder to remember if the options variable that we're dealing with is something that got passed to the function, or if it's something that we actually established later on. For example, we established the content variable here. By using the this variable inside of our new class, it becomes clear that this is a property within our class or within the function. It's not something that we define midway through the function.